Hello, YouTube and Facebook, and whoever else is watching. Good evening, boys and girls, gals and germs, children of all ages. Welcome to the Rat Stream. I got something in my eye just a second ago, and I lost my internet a minute ago. So I'm on my phone, and I don't know how good the quality is going to be. So I'm waiting for someone to show up. You can talk to me about my sound settings, and I'm on the standard stream, not high def, which always makes my head look really big. So, Brenda! Brenda! Yes, add to stream.
How are you?
Brenda, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay! You can hear me, and am I glitchy or anything? Because I'm on my phone Wi-Fi.
No, you're good, actually.
Good, because I lost the whole Wi-Fi network from the house at 1 minute to 9.
My last spur of the moment thing was to try to think of something that was I could put on YouTube background music or something that was themed, and the only thing I came up with was Rat Round and Round.
Okay. John, are you going to click the link? Just a second. Let me put an invite link for John. Copy to clipboard. I've got an auction ending in 25 minutes, too, so I've got that window open.
Okay.
And I want to see what it goes for. Right now, the woman who's winning the auction is the one that stole from me, so...
No.
I want her to be outbid.
Okay. What can we do?
Than spite. Well, I don't want you to buy her. I want someone to buy her who wants her, but I want them to spend more than her.
Sorry.
What
is she and how much is she? I'm just curious.
I'll show you. Her name is Christine. A sec.
I'll
share the look. I'll share the page.
Okay.
She's still in that trying to make everything all right, childish thing.
Shit.
She's trying to buy things from me and hello, Susan Hyder. Mwah.
Hi, Susan.
Brenda says hi, Susan. I'm sure she can hear you. Hello, Susan. Chrome tab. Christine. Share.
Oh wait, are my glasses on my head? They are. Okay, let me see. So she's cute. She's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a figurine.
What's that?
Quince is being curious. He heard she's cute, she's pretty, and was like, "What are we looking at?" So
yeah.
I like her. She's nice.
Yeah, I've got nicer ones, but I'm okay with her. I think, yeah, just as long as Labar 7085 doesn't win, I'm fine.
Right.
Minimize contact.
Hopefully that won't happen.
I hope. All right, so I'll leave that up. Put us back. I'll change it so she's smaller than us. John, add John to stream. John.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy to meet you.
Hey, hang on a second. Arg. What'd I do?
Okay, let's get. How do we get this best? There. No, but I don't want me to be that big. I want us all to be the same size. There we go. Hey, John.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a friend who looks a lot like you. The ZZ Top beard.
Yeah, I was a stand-in for one of them. Just kidding.
Were you really? Okay. No. Owen braids it in the winter, then wears a big Russian fur hat, and he looks like an Ewok, which I find really adorable.
I was thinking about this spring, maybe go more of a what is it? What's the guy in the Bugs Bunny movie? Yosemite Sam.
Handlebar.
Well, yeah, that's a thing. How long is the beard?
About 10 to 12, roughly.
That's what she said.
I'm saving a fortune on razors and haircuts.
Yeah, well, me too. I let my friend cut my hair. Hello, Brenda. Susan says, If my
All
mom
right.
was alive, you'd have a bid.
Oh, yeah.
And hello, John. There we go.
Mhm.
Hey.
We're all caught up now.
Hmm.
I was just saying I have an auction finishing in a few minutes, and this chick who's high bidder on it just ripped me off a week ago. So I don't want her to win it. I don't want her.
Hmm. So
Or we
you,
want her to bid like insanely high, but that
Or
could
she paid
not
a
work
shit
out.
ton of money.
Yeah, but maybe that won't work out if we try to do that and then end up, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
there's
Mhm.
always sniping at the last second.
True.
Siphoning?
Sniping.
Sniping at the last second.
Sniping. I can't on
Hmm.
my own items. But that's basically how everybody wins on eBay is everybody's I watch for page views and how many people have come onto the page in the last little while, at
Mm.
last 10 minutes, and then I'll know if it's going to go up or anything. But
Mm.
yeah, we'll see. I'm selling Royal Daltons to buy my house. It's a lot of Royal Daltons. John, do you have any Royal Dalton figurines you'd like to sell? You look like a collector.
Mm, no, I collect other things. I don't have any figurines. I used to have a lot of Matlock china that
Nice.
the first
Oh,
wife
yeah.
collected,
Mm.
much
Cool.
to the detriment of my bank account. But
Mm.
Mm,
I mean, we had tons of it, upon
yeah.
tons of it.
Mm.
I feed collectors. I don't collect anything myself. So just
She
So
enjoys
you're,
it while she has it with her, right?
yeah,
what's that?
You enjoy it while you have it with you.
Yeah,
Like you appreciate the beauty of it while you have it
and then move
yes.
it on in one
and
door
move
at
it
the
out to the
oh, look
world.
at this pretty, and then you take it, so I
Mm.
can look at this other pretty thing. Yeah. So
Just like
anybody
Kim
else?
Kardashian with husbands, I think. Sorry.
Oh, that's funny. Does she have
I
another
don't know.
one? She's still with Pete Davidson.
No, they broke up. I'm ashamed that I know that, but I do.
I've never watched the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's again one of my many guilty pleasures now between the housewives and that sort of thing, which I never ever watched. And then quarantine happened and I watch everything now. And I don't like any of it, but I watch it anyways. But
Yeah, I've run out of things.
kind of, yeah.
John, you look like a
Huh?
Kardashian fan to me. You look like a
No,
Kardashian
no,
fan to me.
no, 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 no,
Secret,
no.
secret, super
In the
stealth. You
car
can tell
to
us.
the hall with a little on your phone.
Uh-huh.
No,
No,
secret.
I'm not into the Kardashians, Jersey Shore, or any of the programs they pass off as programs these days. A lot of it is just, it's like you've got these executives in LA with a dartboard of just random words, and they just throw the dart and see what combination, sticks or
Oh, it's
something.
absolutely all crap, but it's crap that you could put on and then do other stuff and not really care if you miss much of it. Right?
Have you guys ever seen the South? Okay, South Park is clever satire. The South Park episode where the manatees decide the TV programming by selecting golf balls. That's how they. Anyway.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't followed South Park. I like it, but it was a little too poop minded for me.
Yeah,
That was
it's
all Canadian, of course. The
Oh,
Terrence and Phillip.
that was hilarious though. The blame it on Canada and all that stuff.
yeah.
Hey, you guys.
Oh, nice.
My
Hello,
son makes
Terrence.
me want to go to his
Mm.
house.
Oh yeah,
You Kenny, you bastards.
they're
That's right.
classic.
Not
Yeah, I
John.
think you need to talk to Mr. Hat.
Oh, he does
Yeah.
impressions and everything. That's hilarious.
You do voices.
Mhm.
I like the
I
one voice
hear
where
voices too.
what's that?
I said I hear voices too, but
we
that's
Oh,
keep
another
that.
it's
story.
We keep
medication
that
for
to ourselves.
That's right. They won't catch on.
That's right.
No.
Where?
So,
What?
the two people, is that just us? The two
Huh?
people that are watching?
Well, I can tell you this: it's definitely not a sausage fest in here tonight.
No.
There you go. I don't know how to navigate this at all. I just pressed the link and here I am. And last time I learned how to turn the volume up so that I could hear and be heard. That's all I know.
Well, that's about as much as I know.
We need more
I,
promotion.
And yet here we
I need
are.
to
So
get
there you
better
go.
at
So
it.
you know a few things.
I need to have a purpose, John. I'm just not like I was going to give up last week or 2 weeks ago, but then people asked me to come back, and I'm like, why? But okay,
Because there's rats in the world and we're going to talk about that.
okay.
Yes.
Yes, there is, and I just want to look at my auction because it made like a flashing thing.
Oh,
Why is
okay.
it?
What's up with your auction?
Just a second. Let's look.
Did somebody outbid that whore? Am I allowed to say that?
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
apologize. Don't kick me out.
I won't kick you out.
Okay. It's such a fun
I
word,
mean,
though.
10 minutes, 74 people, same bid. Okay,
Mm.
all right, fine. We'll see.
No, you can always leave a
So,
link there on eBay and then have them come over here to the video.
that would be fun. I
True,
don't
right?
do that. I tried to put the link to my store, my web store on, and almost got completely booted off of eBay.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that? Oh, I guess that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And because my cost of sales on eBay is like it's 46% cost of sales. I was trying to direct people over to the website because it's
Hey,
a lot
sorry, hang on a
less.
sec. Not close.
Who's she talking to? The
Madam,
cats?
sorry, I'm talking to my son for a second.
Okay.
Put him down. Okay, hi, sorry.
So I'll start the rat part of this with my first rat encounter story because
Hmm.
I grew up in Thunder Bay. We didn't have rats. I'm sure they have them now because they come up in like the produce trucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same reason I've got possums in Coburg from southern United States. So anyway, I was at Brian's house. I just started dating him up in Peterborough, and I'm outside at 3 a.m. smoking a cigarette. Been pouring rain,
Mm.
and I was wearing jeans for sure, and his big man shoes, like that had open back on them, like rubber shoes with big open back, and they're way too big for me.
Okay.
And I see what I think is a little kitten slinking along
Oh no.
slinking along the gutter on the other side of the road, and I go, "Oh, poor wet kitten! I better go see what's up with it." And I went up to it and got really close, and then I realized doesn't look like a kitten. What a funny tail! Oh my god, that's a fucking rat! And the rat's like up, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and we're just looking at each other. So to scare him, I went bah, and I stamped my foot in front of him, and he jumped and got on my jeans, and I started shaking my leg. I'm screaming too,
Oh,
shaking
he
my leg.
doubled down.
And he slides down. He gets onto Brian's shoe, and I'm kicking the shoe, but he's grabbing onto my ankle. I'm kicking the shoe, and then the shoe and the rat go flying off, and then just go clunk about a foot away from me. So I turned around and I beelined for the door, and the rat chased me all the way to the stairs.
Oh my
And
god.
Oh yeah.
just
Once they
walk
lock
away.
onto you,
Who's
once they
vicious?
lock onto you,
Oh my god! So that was my first experience with a rat.
Oh my god, I would have flipped right. That would have been amazing to have on video for sure.
Oh yeah,
But
then I came running
yeah,
in. I was like,
I,
"Brian, wake up! Wake up!"
I would have flipped my shit completely.
Yes. All right.
That's what you think is you're big and they're small, and that's not what they're supposed to do.
No, they're so
oh,
aggressive.
that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, apparently.
That is their,
Openly aggressive.
huh? Who? What? Huh?
I just said they're openly aggressive.
Yeah.
Cindy Trump. Hi. Hi, Cindy Trump.
Hi, Cindy.
Hey,
I will light that cigarette, Susan. Okay. All right, John. What are you doing in the cargo hold of a ship? Let's start with that.
Oh, yeah.
well, not me personally,
Oh,
but
okay.
this when I was in the Coast Guard, not the Canadian one. You guys are civil servants. You get paid better than us at the time. But anyway, in the U.S. Coast Guard, and one of the ships I was stationed on, and we pulled over a freighter loaded with marijuana. And I
Ah.
mean, loaded. So we sent over, the boarding team and everything to check it out. And of course, heading this or in charge of this boarding team was a kid right out of the academy and everything, still wet behind the ears. And they put him in charge over there. And then uh, they took and let him stay on the custody crew because we were bringing the boat back to Key West and we had a crew on there. So Mr. Ossifer, on his, newfound command and glory, decided to go down with the two enlisted guys, or at least two enlisted guys, down to go inspect the hold and everything. Make sure it's all shippy shape and all that, and maybe get a couple of selfies with all the weed.
Right.
Well, they got down in there and everything, and encountered a Colombian freaking wharf rat in the hold.
I don't know
And
Okay.
what that is, but I don't like the sounds of it.
just think of it as kind of like sub possum size.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I
And
do like swimming.
yeah, and the officer, in all his brilliance and training, decided it would be a good idea to pepper spray the aforementioned rat.
Okay.
Now, and of course, that made the rat angry, as one would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they started to have a chuckle about it. Now, let me tell you something about a pepper sprayed rat. All right. He may not be able to see you or smell you anymore, but he can damn well hear you.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And he
Oh.
locked onto it and he started hopping across the hold. This is all told me by one of the enlisted guys that was over there during it, right? Starts hopping at him, on these nice kangaroo bounds towards them. And it was a combination of the Three Stooges and Monty Python retreat out of there as these three guys are all trying to go up the same little scuttle at the same time and get away from this, plague infested rat for all they knew.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
So that got back to the captain. And once he stopped suppressing a giggle and a laugh and everything, had a little chat with the young ensign after that. And that was kind of like added to our standard boarding team orders after that, like no macing the wildlife. It will not turn out well,
Yeah.
But
Gross.
I wish to God they had cameras back then like they do nowadays in the service and everything. It just wasn't around, but that would have been a definite Kodak moment.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
Um, but what size is your rat up there? I mean, have you identified what
Um,
kind of rat it is?
No, he had a like this, just like a girl. What kind of car do you have? It's blue. What kind of rat do you have? Well, it's got a white belly, and it was kind of strawberry blonde, which was weird.
that is weird,
And
Ooh,
actually.
he was about this big, so he got caught right in front of the ear in the trap, which is why I
yeah.
kept screaming at him, "Stop flipping around!" Um, and he had his feet on the trap, and he was trying to pull it off. So his back feet and his front feet, and I was having a
Oh,
bit of a
yeah.
cow. So I called my
Yeah.
friend's husband and said, I have to kill him. I can't let him get out of there, and I can't let him live. So he said, how do I murder him? And he says, well, I would just take a stick and stab him. And I'm like, no. Brian would
You
stick
don't
the
have
rabbit.
guns up there.
What's that?
You don't have guns up there.
No, and I wouldn't have one if I might have a bow and arrow lying around. I've got a sledgehammer lying around, but I'm not that kind of girl either. So
I got
I
a
picked
few BB guns, and that would probably just piss them off, right?
Do you have any? Is there any water areas around there, or, like streams or?
Yeah, I'm on a lake.
Tons,
I'm
yeah.
not. I don't.
Ah,
Oh, I'm on a golf course which used to be the mill, so it's got the pond and the tributary that goes into that goes over the wheel to the well. I mean
you
to
got
the.
a river rat.
Hmm.
It wasn't nice. And while he was struggling outside, there was like loud noises underneath the deck,
Uh-oh.
and
I always
milk
felt like
snake.
wild rats were just gray. I never thought they'd be like light like that. That's weird.
Yeah, I
Oh
know. So
no.
I picked him up and I stuck him in a Home Depot bucket, and he started flailing around. I thought he was going to get out of it, so I took the hose and I sprayed him. It took him a long time to drown.
Oh, geez.
You
Nice.
gotta put weights on their tiny little feet, or they won't.
How do you
It's
tie a
clever.
weight around a rat? Sorry.
Well,
Cement shoes.
yeah,
Dip them in cement.
pick it
That
up at Home Depot.
you have to be pretty prepared ahead of
Oh, did it just end?
time.
New bid, 37.51. So let's see if she's still winning. A sec. Oh, someone's trying to beat her. Oh, winning bid $40. It's her.
Ah, fuck. Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to swear. My bad.
Okay, well now I can close that window. I know how it
I didn't
ends.
mean to swear.
She's not getting what do you call that? Oh, Susan says thank you for the story, John.
Yes, thank you.
It's interesting. You were
Cool.
in Coast Guard. Is that part of your greater military complex in the States?
Yeah,
Is it one of
it's right before the new Space Force. We've been around guarding the coast for 200 plus years. Nobody stole it yet. They tried, but they don't get away with it. But I was what was that?
that was an email coming in telling me my figure sold.
Okay, you heard that too. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was in for 22 years, and when I got out of high school, I had a couple of choices. It was either join the circus or go on the Coast Guard. So I applied at the circus, and they said I was overqualified. So Coast Guard it was, and my brother was also in it. So I was in for 22 years. I get in 1978, and of all things, I get stationed on this boat out of Miami. And I don't know if you've ever seen the Michael Caine movie, The Island, or not.
No.
But I actually had a speaking role. Actually, not too many people did. It was a real bomb. It lasted about 2 weeks in the theaters. But here I am, like a 19-year-old kid, and I'm on screen in a movie and in theaters, and it was on television, and
Oh,
people were
cool.
freaking out. So I was a little pissed at Universal because I never got a call back or anything. But anyway, my televised career or whatever pretty much was source for movies or anything else was over until I retired. And since I've been retired, I've been on 3 of the local channels for various things from a hurricane to flesh-eating bacteria. But yes, come to Florida for the fun and the sun. You'll stay for the hospitalization. But and I had a lot of fun and adventures and stuff like that. Seen most of the Caribbean islands, been over to
Sweet.
Europe, West Coast to Frisco,
Nice.
but I did electronics, and that's pretty much what I do now. At least I used to. I'm just retired now. But
Nice.
Yeah.
I still have my above ground lair for certain things, any requisite lab coat.
As in your home? Is that your background layer? Or
Your
Yeah,
no?
it's actually what used to be the garage is now my above ground lair, which is in
Gotcha.
total disarray. But you know,
This
we're
is my
getting
house.
union,
So.
so it'll work out.
Mm.
Did we have? Do we have a Coast Guard in Canada?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, they're
Okay.
civilian though.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
okay.
you want to hear a funny statistic, John? Because you know how large the American military is. Do you know how large the Canadian military is, including civilians?
Uh,
67,000.
wow, that's twice as big as the entire U.S. Coast Guard.
No,
Is
that's
it?
all. That's our entire military,
Entire
though, isn't
I
it?
military.
know.
Our entire. It sounds to me that sounds like a lot, but what's the Americans? That's what's going to blow my
Well, 4
mind.
million of the
Gee.
the poor ones, right? Not including that's just
We could
not
take them if
including
we had to.
civilian employees.
We could still take them if we had to. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're just
I've had a
peacekeepers.
brief encounter with the Canadian Navy when we were
Mm.
making that trip over to Europe, and apparently your Canadian Navy had not heard of U.S. Coast Guard's reputation for beer drinking, and they
Oh,
invited us
interesting.
over to their destroyer. Let's just say they had to send out for a few more kegs. They could not believe that Coasties drank that much. And,
That's impressive because usually Canadians they don't underestimate beer intake.
yeah, but Canadians got some beer up there that is like nectar of the gods.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
ours is much stronger, right?
Yeah,
no,
so
it's
we
just
got good beer.
better.
It is better. Yeah.
It's,
I'm not a beer drinker myself, but that's what I hear anyways. But of course, that's what I hear because I'm Canadian. What are they going to say? Ours is crap and everybody else is better?
I tried to have a Pabst Blue Ribbon the other day. Not the other day, like
oh my
months ago.
God.
It was so gross. It was horrifying. It was
Yeah.
whoa.
And the scary thing, it became the beverage of choice of college kids. And it's like, okay, you want
Pabst.
Wow.
to,
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing yet.
No,
I
we can
mean,
tell.
I would drink that under duress.
Mm.
Not even under
But
duress.
yeah,
I like every once in
I'm
a
just
while
those
if it's really hot and really cold Corona with a lime.
yeah.
And that,
Well,
yeah, that's what I think.
yeah, why put the lime in there?
Probably to kill things. I don't know why.
I like it.
No,
What? No, I thought
it's, a,
like germs or something.
it's actually keep flies away from it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool. Yeah.
that's cool. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That follows tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Prather says not as much as USN CBs. Oh my god.
Oh, those darn CBs.
What?
USN.
Those are
I don't,
United States Navy. Those guys are the ones that build the runways and put stuff together and engineer it and stuff like that. They really are like amazing at what they do.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like
when my ex was up in the Arctic, he spent 2 years studying erosion in Consumption Bay. Or where's the okay? Oh no, I can't remember what it's called. The line where they've got the signalers up in the Arctic from the Second World War, but they still maintain them. And it's like
Beeline?
right up
No, I
beyond
don't
the
know.
Arctic Circle.
oh
But
yeah, you're talking about the NORAD system up there. They
Mackenzie
had the
D.
dew line
The
radars
Dew
and
Line.
stuff like that.
The
The Dew
Yeah.
beeline?
Line. So
The beeline
he's
is
not
right. I'm legitimately on the beeline. Sorry, go ahead.
okay. Brian was up there in this little cabin with other scientists. It's sort of a cabin that's just,
Yeah.
open to whoever needs it because, whatever. So he's up there with a couple of scientists. It's the middle of the night, and a whole bunch of Navy SEALs, like stormed in, and like, you guys can stay, but they didn't have any words with them whatsoever. They just took over the whole cabin. They were there for the night, had something to do with the dew line, and then they all just like moved out in the morning. And but Brian, who's a little wisp of a man, was like, these are the biggest human beings I've ever seen. These Navy SEALs. They were so intimidating, little geologists and chemists cowering the corner with their books,
Oh yeah.
Whatever you want.
Those guys are insanely trained to do just things like you see in the movies and everything.
Mad
and they go out.
respect.
They go out in weather and stuff that only coasties will go out in, because I've seen them in action with an operation or two we had with them, a joint service operation, and these guys really are unbelievable and crazy.
Well, I guess you got to be a little.
Do some of it.
I think someone that I know just married a Marine and sent me a picture, and I like the uniform. I like the Marine dress uniform. I also like Coors. I'm trying to say in the chat. Okay.
What, you also like Coors, or?
Well, people are talking about what kind of beer they like, so I'm agreeing that I also like.
Okay.
I like Coors. I'll drink Sleeman's if I'm going to drink beer, but you don't have that in the States. So they can throw a barbecue anywhere. Too funny. Could have used that yesterday. I did use the box as a table, John. It just wasn't in the video. I was like, when you mentioned that in the other video, I was like, I was doing that, John. I was doing that. I reached over and dragged it over and went, oh, this makes more sense.
Yeah, I kept seeing you kind of like leaning over at the drill and stuff. I was like, if you set that up a little higher, it'd be a lot easier for her. And,
Yeah. Yeah, I went up missing like 14, 16, 20 A screws. And then the shelf fell off today when my maid was helping me move it. So I had to go up to Home Depot and buy a box of A screws. Whatever it's 1/4 inch by, 1/4 inch by something. Whatever the size was, I had to do it.
So you're trying to convert from metric to us crazy Americans sticking with the linear system.
Oh, Canada's nuts that way, though. We'll go it's a 2x4, 18 meters long. You know what I mean? Like we mix it all up. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's a bad example, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Especially
I've got what is doing the plumbing?
Huh? Ooh, where? Okay, everybody's moving around on the screen. Okay.
Sorry, stop moving.
What?
I'm holding still. When I was doing the plumbing, I went to find Brian's old wrench set, and it's metric. I have no use for a metric wrench set, even though I'm Canadian, because what comes in metric? They are different. So I was pissed with him. I would have divorced him all over again. Had he been here.
There are actually metric crescent wrenches. Figure that one out.
Like, I'm kind of up there age-wise, and I still remember the commercials from when they switched over. And it would be this commercial of this young woman driving in the car, right? And her parents in the car with her. And the dad's like, slow down, you're going 100. She's like, but Dad, it's 100 kilometers, right? But I still use it as an excuse for having bad math, because I don't know either one of them all that well.
Because you and I were on the cusp of whether I was on the cusp of they were going to go full metric, not teach imperial, but really the rest of the country was still using imperial.
Yeah.
and so we're
Yeah.
just fucked.
No,
Okay,
but
this
you,
has nothing to do with anything, but just the age thing. I remember when seatbelts were like enforced. Do you remember that?
When it became a new thing.
Yes. Like it was going to be enforced and it was like sort of over a long weekend, and they were like, "Oh, we're just going to try this." That they're going to pull people over if they're not wearing their seatbelts or something like that. I was pretty young, but I still kind of remember it.
well,
And then
I
it
back
was
in
like
those,
after that, it was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
just wear them all the time. Now or you're in trouble."
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got an explosive airbag in front of you now. That's even more comforting.
Yeah, that's a whole different
exactly.
thing.
And yeah, you can't once the airbag goes off, your car's totaled and you can't fix it.
On
So
on the
that's
plus
fun.
side, you can get them pretty cheap from a junkyard and place them in the passenger seat. And if you do have a moonroof, with a simple switch and a 12-volt battery, you can have your very own ejection seat, 007 style.
I have a moonroof, but it's kind of in the center. So I think I have to drive like
Mm,
sitting on the middle of the, yeah. But the
It's
Yeah,
ejection
rather
seat would be
uncomfortable.
cool. I already think my car is pretty cool, but that would add to it for sure. So
I was asking my mother for some reason when I remembered the car that we had when we were young children. I said, when you had babies back then, what did you do with them? There were no seatbelts and you didn't have car seats.
she's probably like,
You
oh, I don't remember. No.
swaddle the baby, stick it in like the crevice between the bench seat and the back, and keep a hand on it while you're driving. You don't know. That's how you took care of your babies back then.
Well, we're
And
all
well,
if they
alive,
were older,
right?
you let them roll around in the back.
you see, we also didn't have helmets back then. All the kids
True.
got helmets, and I've got a theory about that. You see,
Natural
back
selection.
then, when we would do something stupid that would possibly injure ourselves, we get dope slapped in the head. And over time, at your young age, you built up more and more bone up there to protect you as you progressed in your, crazy antics growing up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like these kids got like heads like melons, you know. Oh,
They're
their soft
soft.
spot's still
They're
intact.
Yeah, you're not allowed to smack him anymore either,
No, at least not on camera.
right? Or leave a
No,
mark.
I never had to smack mine.
No,
I
you know
never
what? I'm
had.
totally kidding. I spanked my son, I think, twice ever. And aside from that, it's not necessary, But that's not all kids either. I talk a good game though, you know.
It was the sheer weight of my disappointment in him was enough
Yeah,
of a deterrent.
yeah.
That's
My
pretty
son's in
good.
the kitchen went, oh, disappointment.
At least
Do you
I
have kids?
avoided the At least
Hmm?
I avoided the era of the leashed children.
The leashed. Oh God, no. That's
Oh,
aw
it's
That's
useful.
awful.
No, it's useful. If you've got a toddler that takes off and you're in a crowd,
Yeah.
it's a useful thing. If people were too silly about that, it's like it's a way to not lose my wiggly 1.5-year-old who's found his legs and thinks everyone's
Mm.
his friend.
Yeah, you just
I,
push the recoil button, they go sliding across the storage floors, nice and whacked right back
yeah,
to you.
here, go play. All right, time to come back. Yeah. Did I hook him? Yes.
Oh wait, that one's not mine. How'd that happen?
Oh, you know how that happens? Lee reaching out behind you in a shopping mall and putting out your hand for your kid to catch it. Some other
I did
kid
it
grabs
at
it.
Disney World. I put my arm around some other kid in the ice cream shop. I went, oh no, 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 no,
Sorry. Yeah.
no, no.
I just walked this kid back to the bookstore and said, "Okay, where's your mom?" And I was like, "Adam, Adam."
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Instinct for both of you. Oh, I see an upstretched hand. That must be my mom. And that one grasping me must be my son. So, yeah. I don't know how my
I,
son
fig-
survived me.
I figured out at an early age that if I pushed the shopping cart over and knocked myself unconscious, that mom would buy me a Coke.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
You
long
know,
that's a long way to
my
go
mom
for a
would have been
Coke.
furious with me if I did something like that. It didn't matter if I was hurt or not.
it took her a good month and a half to catch on. That could explain a lot about me.
She was probably really concerned there for a while about
Well,
your
they had me
about your
tested.
future if you kept doing that.
It questioned your love of Coke.
Huh?
I said, or questioned your love of Coke. That's a lot of work to go through for a Coke.
Hey,
Excuse me.
you're like under 5 years of age. That's a big thing.
Yeah, that's
Back
pretty
in
huge.
those days, it cost a whole nickel.
I miss those old like Coke metal things where you get the glass bottles for a nickel and
Oh yeah.
pop.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are just a piece of history. You
Yeah,
know.
Oh, they're trying to.
worth a lot.
Everything is retro and twice as expensive now. They're bringing stuff back and they're going because we're all of that age, right? And they figure we got a little bit of money in our pocket by now because we're saving for retirement and whatever else. So everything is retro. So we can have, oh, I remember that. I remember that. I need to have that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that's
So
going
we
on.
said, well, kid in front of her was okay.
No, what? I probably did, whatever. What?
I don't know. We're talking about Lorraine made a comment. I was just highlighting comments as we went down.
Hmm.
Mom liked to say, I'd just as soon hit you as look at you. Then she'd smack the kid she was talking to. Thanks,
Oof.
Mom. Usually said while she was looking at another kid. Oh, usually while
Oh,
the kid in front of her was whining. Okay. I was thinking I'd rather as soon as smack you as look at you and then smack some other kid. That would be funny. But no, smacking the
my
ones you're
mom
looking
was
at.
always, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about.
Oh, how uninventive.
If, well,
Sorry.
Okay.
Looking at how
And
much paid.
moving.
Okay, I have to share this real quick when I go inside, just Jules. Okay, so she's out there, Brittany's out there starting a fire, right, which is totally cool. I'm out there having a smoke and doing this with you guys. And then I just heard her go, well, we don't have chairs, but loud enough for me to hear, but she's the one that brought the chairs back over here. Anyways, we can carry on with anything else but that.
Okay, we'll talk about Brittany later.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny.
John would have some ideas, but we shouldn't broadcast it on the internet.
Fair enough. So, did
Uh,
anybody have a pet rat when they were younger?
Never.
I did.
I had a pet
A couple
snapping
of them.
turtle.
Oh, yeah?
What kind of turtle?
Snapping turtle.
Hmm.
It's a
Right on.
Florida thing. We play with reptiles and stuff at a young age.
Oh, that has anybody ever Googled it? Was a thing on TikTok if you or whatever, but if you put in Florida man and your birthday and see what the news report was from that day, it's always something pretty amusing. No, honestly, you should try it.
That's fun. I like that idea. I like that game.
Just
My,
once I'd like it to be a guy from Iowa or somewhere, a man from Iowa. No, it's always
it
Florida.
probably could, right? For sure, but just Florida seems like it's
No,
low hanging fruit when it comes to that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Florida has more unusual adventures than other places. It just
Huh?
seems that way. Florida has more unusual adventures than other places.
Probably
Well,
because they
not New
have so
York
many people
City.
coming from other places too, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. The tourists, the snowbirds, the transplants.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of Canadians down here have dual citizenship and everything.
Oh, tons. Yeah. When
Oh
you say
yeah.
snowbirds, that's us, right? So,
Yeah.
They stopped that now. We're not allowed.
and then we do stupid shit and blame it on
They took away
Florida.
the dual citizenship.
Well, that's
Oops,
the
sorry.
thing, like I was kidding about, stay for the hospitalization when you come to Florida.
Mm.
I live here and I won't swim in the water out here because there's just so much wrong with it at times, and it's all
Mm.
due to man-made,
Yeah.
situations. And it really, I mean, and you figure, well, I'll just go to a lake, and you can't even do that down here anymore because they've got like brain-eating amoeba,
Oh
you
gosh.
know. And I caught
Yeah.
flesh-eating bacteria in my backyard digging around the fence line.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, yeah, it's they paint you this beautiful beaches and all this stuff, but
Uh,
you don't have red tide, green tide, uh, E. coli, plus you got to deal with the flying rats, aka seagulls,
oh yeah.
and whatever else, you know.
Pythons, Everglades. You've got like a major python problem, don't you? For
Oh
people
yeah, but
releasing.
there's bounties on them. You can make some money, you know.
Oh, okay then.
Oh yeah, they have actual. They actually pay per foot.
Are you
Uh,
Really?
serious?
yeah, unless they get you first, of course.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how it depends. Well, how much do they pay?
Brenda, I'm like Brenda. I've got an idea.
I
You know.
know. I can't. Well, I could just see us, and it would be worth the video we could sell. Well, for just the laughs of it, might be worth more than us trying like actually catch one.
Well,
You
you
could
want
tell you
something.
could.
Well, if you want something a little more, less challenging, you could just wait till when the cold weather hits. When it gets about 50 or so, the iguanas start dropping out of the trees.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do they pay for
Yeah.
those?
Huh?
Do they pay for?
Unfortunately, no. However, they do serve them in some restaurants.
Oh, have you had
Um,
iguana?
no,
Fair
I
enough.
have had alligator, and it does
Yeah.
not taste like chicken.
Yeah. I just saw actually a little thing, like a little blurb thing with Gordon Ramsay, and they asked him what alligator tastes like, and he's like, "It's gross."
Yeah, it's greasy. Uh,
Very
it's
tough.
it's a gator. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
What do you expect, really? Right?
but hey, the tourists love it.
Yeah,
You
they're
know,
just. But
they will try anything. It's like, okay, I mean, people do like it, but it's
an
no.
aquatic taste.
Not like frog's legs, which are
I've
nice
never
and
Yeah,
had
tender.
those.
but
You've had
there's
them?
Brenda and
no
I,
never. They do taste
sorry,
like chicken.
they do. Okay.
Yeah,
Brenda and I had an encounter with a snapping turtle
We
recently.
did, and this
Just
comes to our generation too. Is we could have like grabbed the phone or handed my son the phone and said like, "Record this." Didn't even think of it, right? Because it was pretty funny, right? It would have been like worth
was.
doing, but still, it happened and it was cool.
She was big too, and
She
super
was,
aggressive.
yes,
oh,
she
they
was,
are aggressive. Was
yeah.
it a regular snapping turtle or an alligator snapping turtle?
A
Imagine,
regular
imagine
Ontario
it's the
snapping
regular
turtle.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with either one.
Oh,
You
it was
never, yeah, never
big.
point your finger in their face.
No,
No,
no, Jules was really smart. She threw a blanket over it,
Yeah,
right? And it
only
still
after it
made
jumped
height,
like
even
8 inches into the air towards my
oh
face. So,
yeah.
yeah, even with
hey,
the blanket on it, right? And that's, yeah, she was really. I didn't wouldn't even thought of it. I've been like, oh, I don't know, poke it with a stick. I don't know.
You
But yeah,
gotta
we moved
yeah,
grab
it
them
off
by
to
the
the
back
side of the road.
legs. No, you don't want to
yeah.
tangle with those things.
Mm.
You'll be
I,
missing a finger.
I threw the blanket over her, and then
Yeah,
I thought I could grab her by the hind legs, but she was way too jumpy and too agile. So I threw the blanket over her, grabbed her by the hind legs, carried her across the road, and then down into the culvert, released her, and was walking back to the car, and she turned around and chased me up the culvert.
Yeah,
And I
she
was
had
like,
a vendetta against Jules.
yeah, she was after me. Yeah, it was funny. But
But there
yeah.
was a few cars that passed because I didn't pull far enough over because I didn't even realize, like, we were like, what is that? What is that? And I pulled most of the way over, but not all the way. Had the
Well, you were
hazards
blocking
on.
the lane of traffic from me dying. You were
This
blocking the
is
lane of
true.
traffic to
This is true.
stop me
There's
from
that as
moving.
well. But a few people were, are you okay? Are you okay? Because up north, actually, everybody does care and asks you as opposed to just go
Yeah.
honking and screaming by, right? But the
Yeah.
one lady was hilarious because she just slowed down, looked up at Jules, looked at me, and went, turtle? I went, turtle. And she kept going.
We had one pulling up on the one side of you, people pulling up on the other side and stopping to see if you're okay. It's great.
I'm like, no, we're good. It's a turtle. Right. But the one lady was hilarious. Turtle? Turtle. It was like a whole other language, right?
I've got them on the island. I've got huge turtles. I was
Hmm.
pushing off of what I thought was a giant boulder with the canoe, and I
Oh,
put my
no.
oar out to push away because I was in the marsh, and the whole big boulder moved and swam away because it didn't want to be broken. Wow! And the reason we've got turtles in Rice Lake is because of Queen Elizabeth. She was here for a Victoria Day weekend, and someone gifted her with a turtle.
No, and she
And
went, no thanks. Sorry.
well, her little there's a children's storybook about it here in the area. So
I didn't know.
she
She flushed it.
she couldn't take it back to England with her. She's a conservationist. She's not a dumb lady anyway. What's that? What?
She
You said
flushed
she
it.
flushed it.
No, she took it up to Rice Lake
Goodbye,
where
royal
my
subjects. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
and,
Can you? And she
and
no,
she
she had
left
somebody else flush it. She didn't do it
she
herself.
left it at
I'm
the
sorry.
lake, and the lake did not have turtles before. And now there's like tons of turtles in
Summon the
Rice Lake.
royal flusher.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder if they have one. Queens don't.
Probably.
Well, queens don't
Yeah.
flush themselves. They have somebody to flush.
She's the
Good
last one
job
of them
to.
that I like.
Yeah, she's what is it, 90 something?
Yeah, like 93 or 94. I'm
Oh
not
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
way up there. I
A
was
lot of
saying she's the
people
last
talk
one.
shit about the monarchy and stuff, but I think she was pretty badass, and
Oh
she's
yeah.
actually pretty. She's kind of cool, right? And
Yeah.
talk
Smart.
about like
Oh
she's
yeah.
put her whole life to, she did her like like she said she was going to do it, and she full on took on the role, right? She was in the army, she did that whole thing, she
Yeah.
goes out and hunts, and she drives, and you know what I mean, she's
She
pretty
was a
cool, I think.
she was a Jeep mechanic when she was
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the army,
how cool is that,
and she's
right?
96.
Yeah. Oh,
96 years
96.
old.
Jeez, I thought
Yeah.
94, but yeah,
No.
not a lot more time there.
No,
Good
but I
stuff.
like looking at what's the really. There was a really good movie about Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill's Winston Churchill's big speech. It had Gary Oldman in it.
Oh, I
He's
don't
up for an
know.
Oscar. But any
Oh,
historic movie where they're dealing with the Queen, and she's
yeah,
like on it with politics. She's on it with what's going on in the world. She's like
yeah.
no
Oh
dummy
yeah.
whatsoever.
I watched the
So
first few seasons of The Crown, and I actually kind of enjoyed it because I do like her, and it showed her position in all of it. You know what I mean? Like, and also it was Winston Churchill that sort of guided her. And it's like, here, this is what you do, right? Because
Yeah.
like, and he would stand, he would go to once a week or once a month, however often he had an address with her, and she offered for him to sit, and he's like, no, no, we don't sit, we stand, and that way we get our business done quickly because I want to sit down after. But that was like a crown rule or whatever, and she just didn't know it. So he was really good. He was very much of a mentor to her, apparently.
right. Where Susan has to go, so we're saying bye, Susan. Love
Oh,
you.
bye, Susan.
Thanks for coming.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Susan Hyder is saying Wyoming has a strict rule about bringing boats in so we don't have invasive species coming into our lakes. I'm hoping that my lake goes atrophic. One of my friends, who is Brian's friend, is a biologist, a fish biologist who did his master's or PhD thesis on Rice Lake and was predicting that it would go atrophic because of the invasive species and the milfoy, the
Is that nasty weed?
that nasty weed. Have you not by
Oh,
taking it to the island yet? Because it's everywhere, and there's the carp
no.
are so thick mating along the shoreline that when you get out of the canoe, you've got to like wiggle your foot past the mating carp who don't pay you any mind.
Ew,
And
gross.
yeah, so I'd like it to go atrophic. Everything dies, and it comes back, and it comes back clean and the way it should be for a
Okay,
while.
excuse my ignorance. What does atrophic mean? And what you just
Without
said, that
oxygen,
everything dies?
all the
Pardon?
oxygen all the oxygen would get used up by that milfoy.
Okay.
Like there's very little oxygen in the water now, and then
Yeah.
everything dies, and it becomes crystal clear water with no plant or animal life, and then it will come back and cycle back. It takes about 5 years to get started.
Wow.
But I'd have a great place to go swimming, which I don't right now.
That's what really matters.
Well, why buy an island if you can't swim there?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
my
no,
thought.
that nasty weed got into the family cottage lake too, and it's I don't know, whatever you said the name of it was, but it's just huge and it just darkens the whole lake, and it's creepy because it's just so
Just
thick.
wrap
It's
around
like
your
a
leg or just try to
forest. It's
swim.
like a forest underneath the water.
Yeah.
And I was never too keen on the weeds and the muck and stuff, but I could handle it. That stuff, I don't want to go anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cold doesn't kill it off enough.
No.
No.
That's the only thing
Okay.
that saves us from yeah. What doesn't save us is if you transplant it to Florida, it's going to grow.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And
Yeah.
people have done things over the years like, oh, this water hyacinth looks really neat in the pond. Well, yeah, it does until it just totally clogs a river, and then it dies, and it goes down to the bottom, which produces nitrogen, kills off the oxygen. It gets worse from there, and it just feeds off of that cycle.
I saw this great article about this pond where in a subdivision where people had been releasing their goldfish. So the guys had to go in, the government had to go in with water waders and like electric prods, and the goldfish were like this. So they're like smiling and then like electrocuting these goldfish. It was they were household goldfish. You're I can't think of a good name for a goldfish.
Koi.
They're koi, right? That's what when you go to the
They're actually
Mandarin
a
and
carp.
have
Oh, not
those
koi.
little.
It's just a goldfish. Just like
That's what
the
koi
kind
are.
that I would. I
That's
know
what
they are, but there's
goldfish
such
are.
a kind of goldfish.
We call that a fish
These ones,
fry down here.
the ones with the bubble eyes, and the ones that you'd buy and put in your bowl. They were those ones. Koi are the longer ones that look kind of like carp and have the what do you call those, whiskers? Because I'm putting in a goldfish pond, so I've been researching what kind of fish to get. I'm getting 11 goldfish, and I'm naming them after the characters of Ocean's 11. And so,
Do the fish did the fish get to choose their own characters?
I'd be totally into that.
No, that's like more Reservoir Dogs. Why do I have to be pink?
They're reservoir fish. I mean, literally. I've got a reservoir, and there'll be fish in it.
I'm breaking up. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it me? I'm on my phone.
I'm back. You're not back. You're frozen. The other person's a
frozen.
small circle going round and round. Now you're both
Am
going
I
in
frozen?
small circles.
I just
Oh,
did.
no, John. What about Brenda? Can you see me?
I can see everybody, I think.
Okay.
I don't have my
John?
glasses on, so I know you're there, but I'm not aware of what you're doing.
Okay. I was
You just
wiggling
let us
back
smoke.
and smoke.
There you are.
Mhm.
Back.
Yeah. Well, Brenda, did you have a rat story to share before we go?
Kind of. Well, okay, I had 2 pet rats, and they're actually pretty cool. They're smart. I had the hooded ones. One was named Rupert, and the other one was Daisy, and she was crazy, but she was sweet. Um, and then the only rat story I kind of have is when I moved down to Grand Cayman, and I got hired on by somebody that hired me, and then he got fired before I even got down to the island. So I got there, and nobody really wanted me there. Nobody knew exactly why I was there, but I had just took apart my whole life to move down there. So anyway, so I was slowly winning people over a bit, right? Trying to do my job. I was like assistant manager at a restaurant slash motel, and it was like a dive for divers, right? So, anyways, I'm in the kitchen at one point, and this rat just, I'm talking to 2 other people in the kitchen. It's a busy time. This rat comes out, and it's just flipping out. It's doing the flippy chicken, like completely. And I was in the middle of telling them something work wise, and they're looking at me, waiting for me to respond. I looked over at the rat. I sat up on one of the big prep tables and went, so, anyways, and kept talking. And I think that won over a lot of people right there because they were
Good.
waiting for me to lose my mind, right? Here's the little Canadian girl. She doesn't know shit about shit. And all I knew is, okay, that's a big ass rat and there's nothing I can do about it. So, right. And then when I was done talking, I was like, so what's that all about? So I guess it's the poison makes them crazy,
Oh, really?
I guess, or can. And it just came out and was like insane.
Or the
So, yeah,
drug?
it was, pardon?
I said, or the drugs.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's. I thought I
Drugs.
had another one too, but I can't. Oh, only that we had. I think we had rats at the last place we were at. There was outside, right? But one time I was out having a smoke, and something went across my feet that was not anything that I could explain other than that. So I mentioned it to my landlord, and he got a few big traps. And I set one and put it behind the bush. And the next day I had a robin, and that
Oh,
sucked.
yeah.
So yeah, those are my big rat stories.
Right. I was wondering what what the robin was going after in the trap that
I can't
you didn't
remember.
think of it.
I'm thinking maybe peanut butter. I can't
Yep.
remember what I put on it. That's normally what I would that was my go-to, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, I was felt so bad, and I swear the rest of the year there was a lot of robins in the area, and this was a big one that got it too. And I think that threw off their whole dynamic. Or I felt like it did anyways. I was probably reading a lot into what was going on with the robins that wasn't necessarily happening. But yeah,
Well,
that really sucked.
I couldn't set any rat traps tonight because I've got guests in the house, and I
Oh yeah.
don't want them to see a dead rat in a trap. But I don't want them
Mm.
to see, and I don't want to give the rats any more time to make babies or move into the basement.
Yeah.
You
I
need
think I
to
have.
seal that stuff off.
I'm gonna have to parge the whole basement. It's
Yeah.
200-year-old rock foundation with it's beautiful looking, but it's got holes.
And they will
So
get
it.
into a hole a lot smaller than you think they can get into. I found
Oh
one
yeah.
empty Coke bottle one time.
Oh,
Woo!
Still
really?
alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
if
We
No, no,
that's
gotta
no,
what
clean
no,
up.
he
no, no.
has, he
No,
done
no, no.
effed up.
This was back in the old days when you used to go around and collect soda bottles and stuff for money. You know, I
Mm.
reached down there
Yeah.
and I saw 2 eyes and the nose sticking back at me. And you would not
Wow.
believe this thing could get in a Coke bottle, but they can.
Wow.
Yeah,
You need
I
to spread
believe
a
it.
lot of that mint oil. to repel them.
I'm gonna do it. I'm
Oh.
gonna spray the basement with mint, and I'll
Mint
maybe I'll
oil.
get an
Okay.
infuser in the basement with mint, and then
What about
I've
tea
got
tree? Will
cactus
that work
plants
too?
everywhere.
I
What's
don't
that?
know.
See, I was just wondering because I have a thing of tea tree oil and water mixed. I don't know why I have it anymore. I think, anyways, it was a whole other thing. But I was just wondering if that would work for them too.
I
Out of
don't know. I've
curiosity.
got different kinds of mint, and I've got lots of mint plants
Oh, that's cool.
and catmint plants that could be divided.
Mm.
Thought
Put
we were
around
going
the.
to do some cat squeezing.
I would. I would. Brenda's got
Hmm?
cats, and I've asked her if I could squeeze them. Can I
Well,
squeeze your cats, Brendan?
probably could. I don't know if they'll pee for you, but right now one of them will probably spray you because she's in that kind of place in her life. But I
They
was
um,
get
wondering,
real.
can I give you a thing of like kitty litter, like dirty kitty litter? Not that, yeah, I'm just a good
I was
friend.
curious.
Here,
You know,
here's my
do you think
dirty cat box. I love you.
if it's, I love you? Here's this shit.
You got to distill it.
Do you think um, if it was not odor control, kitty
Maybe.
litter might do it?
I
The
would
whole thing
think.
is, you have to make your place look the most uninviting compared to, let's say, neighboring properties.
Oh, I got an
So
idea for that
that's
then.
Can we throw dead
I already. What about the
meat?
ratapult?
I
Right.
love the radicals idea.
You know
Go
how it
ahead.
differs from a catapult.
No.
See, a catapult goes. Ratapult
Yeah.
goes. Whee!
Now we know. See, this has been
Gross.
super informative. Don't pepper spray them. And this is what
Don't.
they sound like when they fly through the air.
And resist the urge to put tiny little helmets on them
Uh,
I
before they
I
hadn't
catch
can't
even
their
thought
scent.
about
urge
that, but now I want
to.
to.
Exactly. Now it's all I want to do, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, then,
Yes.
see if you do that, it's okay. You could say, "Hey, those are just mentally challenged rats, and we have to put the helmets on." It's a Canadian
Right.
law. Look it up. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
We don't
Because
know
of our
actually we don't know
goddamn
anything
kindness.
about it. They're just doing it themselves.
yeah,
Second.
Something
Okay.
like that.
yeah.
Looking for pictures of rats in helmets.
And body armor. That's
Yep.
all you need.
Oh, okay, a whole different
Oh,
thing, but it's kind of funny. Bomb wait, Quinn, what is it? Bomb launching. Oh no. Okay, don't tell me I'm gonna forget this. It's amazing. My son came up with this a few years ago. Quinn, sorry. What is it? Bomb sneezing, missile launching. Right. Bomb sneezing, missile launching moose behind moats. That was my son's idea for Canadian defense system, which is that turned John right off. He went away. No.
I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
I'm in the lower corner.
Oh,
There
there
we
you
go.
are. Okay,
Oh my
sorry.
God!
It was so cute. And it was like one of those, he likes to start conversations after he's in bed, had a story, all that, right? And
Yeah.
then I'd hear from his room, Mom, and I'd be like, nope. He'd be like, no, no,
Well,
wait, Mom, this is
at least
important, Mom.
look at it this way. At least he's not watching porn or something.
Oh
He's
no, it was hilarious. And
he's doing something.
he was only 7 at the time. So if he was watching, then
Bomb launching.
super disturbing. But bomb sneezing, missile launching moose behind moats.
Right.
You know,
Now that
like
we've got the Canadian Bureau of Investigation monitoring us with
oh, for
those
sure,
those
for
string
sure,
of words.
because they've wanted to know about this idea for a long time. So of course they're monitoring us now.
Well, of course, in America, we have the ultimate weapon that's been fighting the Russians for years.
Hmm.
It's called Bullwinkle and Rocky.
Moose in the
There
world.
he is.
Ah.
Now here's something you'll really enjoy.
That's actually
It's
I used to call my ex's ex Moose and Squirrel because I'm not sure where she was from, but it used to really annoy him, so that's why I did that.
I used to annoy my wife when we would be, let's just say, in the throes of passion,
Mm,
and I'd break into Bullwinkle and go, "Come on, you got to work the antlers."
no, are you serious?
no, no,
Holy smokes,
John.
Bullwinkle!
Did you did you
I'm
see my moose
not
video?
even gonna comment on that. That's hilarious. Not the best timing, but
Did you see my moose video? I was
Yeah,
just
I saw
playing
the moose.
in the
you
sprinkler. I love
oh,
him.
I didn't see that. Does he know about Earl?
Was that the bear?
I Earl the what
Mole.
was he? The
He
mole
was
that was in
he
my
was
sweater.
mole.
Oh, the
My
mole. Yeah, I saw
the
something.
mole in my
I didn't get to watch that yet. That
Yeah.
part of
okay.
the.
It's it's one of my best videos because I'm really animated. When I'm out
Oh
in the backyard,
god.
I'm afraid to raise my voice because I'm afraid the neighbors are going to hear me, and so I'm very low key. So you couldn't hear me because I realized I was pulling my voice back a lot.
Mm.
Uh, just silly since I've won now, but I still feel like she's gonna wig out at some point
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, Earl was
you're-
a whole I don't she handled it tremendously well considering what Earl did. Like he went up her sweater and the whole bit and then into the vacuum and came out of that. He was
Yeah,
like not he was not bright, but I don't know.
he was tough. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that for sure. He wasn't all there, but he was there. And
January 12th, I
geez, he
pulled
was up
everything
for
out
it.
of the bunkie on my birthday, so that I could have all like know for sure he wasn't in, and then brought things in one by one. But before I did the bed, I sat down on it. The bunkie's all empty. It's freezing cold. I just sat there because I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to take apart this bed. Do I really have to do this? And Earl walked up and stood in front of my foot, and I lifted up my foot and I pushed down on him, but I didn't stomp him. And he just kind of went, "Hmm."
Because
And
yeah,
then
she didn't even believe
I
that she was
lifted my
actually
foot off.
even doing that.
He walked 2 more feet away and sat down again. It was like, yeah. I should have killed him so I knew he was dead because he went into the house and the guests found him. But
Mm. But they
if
were
Brenda was
pretty
on the
chill
phone with
about it.
me, like, were you on the phone with me 15 hours that day? It
I think that was the same day. It was right around then, yeah.
was
It
the
was
same day.
partly
That
the trauma,
was
and
all
then we just
happening.
had a lot of different things to talk about as well.
And then I hung up with you to talk to Brian, and Brian was like suicidal and kept me on the phone for like 5 hours. And I was like, I've been on the phone for 20 hours today
Wow.
because I could hear it in him, and I had to just keep him on the phone until his mood changed.
Mm,
So
that was crazy. But we named him Earl after the Dixie Chicks song. Well, I don't think it was theirs maybe originally, but they do a song about Earl, who's a bad guy. So the two girls, right? The wife and then her best friend. Earl's got to go, right?
Isn't it Earl's Gotta Die?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, and I can do it. I don't kill things well. And then this morning I thought
Luckily,
I had to kill this chipmunk.
luckily, we know you better, and this whole string of let's just say small animal dispatching. You know, anyone else it would, you know,
Yeah.
start to look a little sketchy.
Yeah,
You
see,
know,
with Jules, I never even considered that, but you're absolutely right. Anybody else, I'd be,
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. But I've only killed one because I
that's
didn't
how it
kill Earl.
starts, Jules. That's how it starts. It's like a bag of Lay's potato chips. You can't just kill one.
John,
I was
when I
saying quietly to my car, but to my son about our car, because unfortunately we've hit a couple of things this year because I've been doing a lot of driving, right, and up north and that sort of thing. So unfortunately, my body count is at 3 now. And I said to Quinn, maybe she has a taste for it. The car, not me. I swear to
Right.
God.
Gross. I thought I killed a chipmunk earlier today, and I didn't.
Oh,
He
he's okay?
lived.
Yay.
Yeah, I let him out of the trap. First, I thought he was dead, and then I was like circling the house, going, "Oh my god, I killed a chipmunk!" And then
Oh, I'm losing you.
one of my passes by noticed his chest was still moving, so I went around the house again. Oh my god, he's still alive! And then I put on my gloves and I let him out of the trap, and okay, he's alive with a broken neck. Now I've got to kill him.
Oh.
And I went around the house a few more times, going, "How am I going to kill this now?"
Mm.
And he flipped up onto his belly. And so I went around the house again, and he disappeared. And he just chirped from underneath the shed. So I did not kill him. I only killed one animal today. And
Today. Oh,
to throw away the
okay.
body of the rat, this is how I do mice. But I wasn't sure about the rat thing. I've got there's a back fence and then a ravine over the golf course. And I like
Yeah.
to throw things. And if you release it just the right time, it's still got the velocity and they'll go over the back fence. So I send a lot of things over the back fence. There's going to find a
John,
pile of
you really put the
fruit,
seed of
and
doubt in my mind, and now I'm listening to this story.
I threw away the dead rat. He
No,
flew
he put the
perfectly.
seed of doubt in my mind when he was like, if we didn't know you better, the whole small animal thing, and then you're telling us
I haven't had
about
to kill
having to
anything.
dispose of them. Sorry.
The mice. I stopped having to kill mice because I got the milk snake showed up. Milton
Oh yeah,
was living on my neck and eating the milk snake. But Brenda, you know how excited I get every single time I see a bunny, which is
yeah.
every day.
Hmm.
I'm a total wuss. I'm a child. I get excited when I
I
see
know. I'm just
cows.
teasing you. I know. I'm
How
just
often do you
teasing
see
you.
cows on
It
a
was just
highway?
funny. Yeah, quite a bit.
I'm like,
Well, not on
cows!
the highway, but along the road. Yeah.
Oh. Yep,
Do you
silly
ever
girl.
plan on going to visit any of the islands down the Caribbean?
I lived
I
in
would
Grand
like
Cayman
to.
for a bit.
You do know about the moo cow rule, right? When you're
No,
visiting the islands down there?
no.
Don't
Okay.
know.
If you're ever going to travel to the Caribbean, to any of the islands, and of course, you're going to be starting out in like a major city or something like that, or, touristy type of city. And right around there, you won't see anything, maybe a chicken or two. You get a little further out of the city and you start seeing more chickens and a goat. Then you get further out, more goats, and then finally cows. Never ever go past moo cow. Okay, because past moo cow is the local natives and they don't like tourists in their neighborhoods. So if you're driving around your rental car and you see a moo cow, hang a U-turn. That's
Good to know.
just
Turn around.
sound advice.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, that's good to
Um,
know.
that is good to know.
And I know in Grand Cayman the chickens were stupid and crazy. They just like crowed whatever time they friggin' well felt like it. The roosters. It'd
They
just
do
be
that
like,
here too.
oh, they're so annoying. Right? And there was quite a few of them actually. And you'd be going home from a
Oh,
party and the roosters would be going and you'd be like, yeah, no, bedtime now. Right?
Did you ever hear my diabolical plan for dealing with the neighbors before YouTube came along and helped me? I I wanted to do something in retaliation, but nobody gets hurt, sort of thing, right? And there are people who are giving away roosters on Kijiji all over the place. So I thought I would get a rooster late at night and throw it off into their yard in the middle of the night so that it starts crowing in the morning and they wake up to this random, like, where the fuck does rooster come from in the middle of the town? And then they'd have to get rid of the rooster. And then about two
Mhm.
weeks later, I'd go get another rooster and throw it over their fence. I just keep doing that and just fucking them up.
They
I
that
thought,
wouldn't have they wouldn't have suspected you for at all for that.
Do
No,
do
because
do
why would
do you see the trend with small animals continuing
You
here?
know what? Stop it. She's my good friend. She's not like that. I won't believe it.
no?
But
Well,
yeah, I'm a little.
well, the whole thing is they got a pool next door, right?
Mm,
Inside, indoor pool.
Oh, thank God,
there you
because
go. Yeah.
the most frightening thought you might be having in the back of your head is with that fact, knowing that they've got a pool, is that Shelley may do a swimsuit calendar for the inn.
Oh my God, that's such a vision.
That'd be such a whole different side of her. Literally.
That would be funny.
Yeah, we get
Well,
to see all 12 of her personalities.
Exactly.
John, what was I going to say? Oh, when in the video, Shelley Love Signs video, she was putting up a fake camera on the
Mhm.
garage looking down in my hot tub. But it was a fake camera. And I was thinking, why don't you spend an extra $40 and get a real camera? But they finally did. When they had the fake up camera up, I was just in case it was real. I started hot tubbing naked.
Giggity.
Now they've got a real camera up closer to the hot tub,
Mm,
looking right in. And I hot tub naked in the middle of the night because I
Do you
figure
have that IP address available?
right?
the
John, you look into it. You get back to me. Because
well,
I'd
I was going
not
to
like
be
to see that.
do an OnlyFans with it. And just post my look at my secret surveillance video of my neighbor. But
Mm,
the thing is, if they want to see a fat old lady floating in a hot tub naked, that's their business. But if I was thinking they would probably be stupid and do revenge porn, post it somewhere, or just
possibly.
holding the naked stuff, looking at videotaping me is if in my swimsuit is intrusion upon seclusion. It's a civil tort. But if they were recording me while I was naked and they were invading my privacy, that's a criminal thing. So I was like, I'm
Uh-huh.
taking off my swimsuit to entrap them into a criminal thing.
Okay.
And then you'll
And
be on Pornhub.com. But still,
Giggity.
fine.
I can't stop going giggity. Sorry.
It's okay.
Uh,
I told my son on Mother's Day. He took me for lunch, and I said, "I've got a really good OnlyFans idea." And he was like, "La la la la, la. Mom, I don't want to hear your OnlyFans
remember, there's
idea."
some things we don't talk to the kids about.
Yeah, and it started because I was getting out of the. I wear like clothes in the hot tub, and before I put my house coat on, I have to take the clothes off because they retain so much water it wets my house coat. So I'm standing in front of my own security camera, and I was taking my shirt off, and I've got a shoulder injury now, and it got stuck over my face, the wet T-shirt, with my arm up, so my tits are in my own security camera, and I'm trapped in my. That's what they do. That's what they look like. And I'm trapped in my shirt, and I'm wrestling, and I'm stuck forever. And then I was going back into the cloud and trying to erase it because I share my video cameras with Cheryl and Wayne in Nova Scotia. So like, I gotta get rid of these, and it just kept circling and it wouldn't delete. And then I thought, and then I started hot tubbing naked for the neighbors, and I went, and my security cameras run. I went, oh, I could post my own security camera and go, look at me spying on my naked neighbor, and do it as an OnlyFans page, and then all the pervs like voyeurism would subscribe to my channel. And my
see,
son went, yeah, that is a good idea.
I think that just the wardrobe malfunction, and it's got everything. It's comedic and it's sexual.
Yes.
again, what is that
John, what were you
camera's
going
IP address?
Right?
to know it?
Now, I can advise you as far as if you want to eliminate them viewing you with a small, probably about a $2.50 device, which will take care of the camera while you are, transitioning. You get a cat pointer
Okay.
and you aim it
Oh yeah.
at the camera. Oh, it's good. That'll take out one of those stoplight cameras too, if you get a good one.
Hmm.
but you just
Really? That's good.
It won't like
aim it at the
disable
lens.
it, but you just aim it at it and you can't see anything,
It'll
right?
blind it. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah. And that's also a good way if you're going through a store to check to see if there's a real camera underneath those domes. You get a reflection back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know very bad things like that.
Well, let me
I
Yeah.
ask
think
you.
this is the man we've been needing to talk to for a while,
This
Jules,
is the man
in
we've been
some
waiting
of our
for.
diabolical plans.
First, I'll strap the laser pointers to my nipples. So while I'm trapped, they'll be blinding the camera. But John, I have this phenomenon that I thought I was going insane. I couldn't tell if it was real or not with them and all the hijinks, because I haven't posted all the hijinks that they've
No,
done.
no, that was the Trump administration in America, honey. That's what that was. And COVID.
that,
It's
that
okay.
was
You're fine.
Okay, so I'd go to my Wi-Fi camera library to see what had been recorded, and every once in a while there'd be like Shelly over the fence, and then it would go. My cameras would go out for 3 minutes 11 seconds. Always 3 minutes 11 seconds, and sometimes they would come back on, and Shelly would be just walking down the ladder, and I was like, "This isn't an accident."
Are
But
your
my
Wi-Fi
cameras go
cameras?
dead. Yeah, then my Wi-Fi cameras go
Uh-oh.
dead, and then something happens.
Uh-oh.
And people say that like everyone was telling me it was impossible, but
No, it isn't. It's possible.
it's not. It is possible, because that's why I
If
don't
it's a
have any
Wi-Fi.
video. It is tampering with the
Okay.
hot tub. I've got no footage of that.
You're going to have to get some wired cameras because apparently, and I briefly experimented with this device along with my friend who does, I don't do computer stuff. I do electronics. It's a totally different union, but he
Yeah,
does that. And you could buy it's about $6. You plug it in with an adapter to your computer, you program it, and it will sit there and deny whatever IP it locks onto, and just keep hitting it with requests, and it can knock your router offline, everything else. So it's possible that they're doing something like that. It's also possible that you can just have a temporary glitch in your electricity, and it's enough to reboot your server and your router. But
yeah.
if that keeps going off like that real suspiciously, just put a direct wired camera back there, and that'll take care of that. You know.
I've
Yeah.
got a continuous record camera, but it's still Wi-Fi, so it's got a power cord to it, but not a not an Ethernet cable or whatever, not a
Yeah.
coax. So
Yeah.
it same thing happens, and the guy Bell kept saying no, that's not. Bell's our internet service provider. They kept saying no, that's not possible until I got to like the higher guy in the tech department. He goes, I get 10 calls about this a day. Yes, of course it's possible. And
Oh yeah.
he says they're getting in through your network. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to secure your network. Get a VPN, virtual private network, or I don't have one, of course.
I do have one, but
I
I
don't
need
have.
the wired cameras. It's the only solution now is wired cameras. But now they're not doing anything because they're afraid of the cameras because of the viral videos. So I've won essentially.
Are you sure it wasn't you getting out of the hot tub and
It's,
startling them?
that scared them. They didn't have real cameras then, and my tits weren't facing. Sorry, I wasn't facing their
Yeah,
Well,
we're
camera.
one
I
not
was
follows the
behind
scaring
other.
them. They're just so amazed they
the
hit the wrong buttons, right?
yeah, but there was one point where I was trying to figure out if I was being gaslit or I was gaslighting myself. Like I didn't know if I was going crazy or not with all the stuff that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And she had done, I think, something on the pond, and there's a whole slew of videos, 90-second videos, right, one after the other, in the library. I started downloading them and got called away. And when I came back, I went to the cloud, and the whole library was empty. And I was like, "Did I just? I must have dreamt that. I'm
Mm.
going crazy. I must have dreamt that." So it was the whole incident. I had to write off to me being crazy, and then weeks later, I go and open QuickTime Player, which I never use, and I opened it up, and the one video that I had managed to download was open on QuickTime. And I was like, "That did happen." They
Mm.
they got into my cloud library and deleted all my fucking videos.
Mhm.
You need to change your password immediately and strengthen it to a higher level password. You know, a lot more symbols and stuff like that. Just
Mhm.
GP. If they're getting into your system, either they know somebody that can do it, or I don't see Shelley as being the computer mastermind. You know,
But maybe
Her
her
son
son.
lives there.
Yeah.
Her
you
son
know,
lives there.
so that's the thing. You really need to beef up your security before it gets even worse, to where they're starting to dig into your accounts and everything else with the bed and breakfast there and everything.
Which really, if they had any sense at all, they'd do that instead of just being foolish with the cameras, right?
You would be surprised how stupid people are.
Oh no, not well. It still continues to amaze me, but
What my son suggested is getting a whole separate network. Okay, first, I think that how they got into the cloud is I save all my passwords in Chrome. So I hear it's not very hard to, uh, if your computer's on the network, it's not too hard to get in and then just get your access to all your passwords.
mm-hmm.
And that's because I've got my mind's going. I just can't remember them all. But my son suggested I've got Bell network for the guests and everything. And he says, now get a Rogers network behind that is only for your security cameras, and they won't be
Mm-hmm.
going looking for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Put one of my neighbors' names on it.
Mm.
The Jim and Jen's family.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You see
You
where people have them
definitely
named like FBI van number 2 and stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Urban Homeland Security. That seems to be the big booga booga kind of
Yeah,
setup. I did that,
true.
but you really got to get that network locked down, because if they're getting in that far, they could get into anything, including your bank accounts and everything else. If they're that determined just to screw with the cameras, you know. But if you got wired cameras and ran them directly back, or even well, let's deal just the Wi-Fi thing for put that on the burner. But wired cameras, run that back like in the good old days to you'll have like a little monitor, and then you've got your, nowadays it would be a digital video recorder like you have for your TV or something like that kind of setup. So there's no way they can get into a network to hack them or shut it down or anything else,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
unless they can produce a large enough RF field to totally scramble those cameras. And I've got
What's
a
that?
pretty good, well, I'm not talking about a death ray.
Mm.
I
I'm
Okay.
not
think
going
you
to
can buy
know how to
something that
make
does
one, but
that for
anyway.
a short period, for like $600. You buy a scrambler that will scramble cameras for X number of minutes.
Hmm.
That was at the spy shop, though.
And see what they're doing,
Mm.
and start tracing it back to them.
Well,
But
you had whoever the cameras are with, you had them sort of looking into him at some point, didn't you,
Yeah,
Jules? They were trying to figure out what was going on.
yeah. Arlo actually admitted
Mm.
that they had their security person sort of talk me through looking into settings and looking for all the devices that had accessed the thing. And at the same time that I was, because I did like shut down all sorts of things. So it was just one device, clear the app off all of the devices and leave just one. And then it was me and one other MacBook Pro. And I've got one MacBook Pro. And it was a MacBook Pro with another, Mac ID. And then when I went back I got excited, closed the window, and when I went back to find it again, I couldn't find it.
Mm.
And then I was saying to Arlo, okay, well, either give me the information or give me what I need to give to the police so that they can get a subpoena for the information. And they started backing off to like, oh no, it's a glitch in the system. And every couple weeks they send me a notice saying, "Oh, we're still working on that glitch in the system. We haven't figured it out yet. Just want you to know we're working on it." Like, shut up, you guys. Just like
Yeah,
the
'cause
electrician when they stripped the wire in the GFCI breaker box, he was like, "Oh my God, someone stripped this wire and caused a fire in your GFC box." It was a brand new GFCI box for the hot tub, and he was freaking out
They're
about
trying to
that.
kill you.
Yes,
They're
I said
trying to
that's
literally kill you.
that's
yeah, a little bit.
homicidal. Yeah, because that fire in that box started a fire in my panel, my brand new panel inside the house too.
They don't.
And
They're not. They're not. They can't start a fire. That's the whole thing. Somebody really had to screw with that to get that thing to just completely overload a line all the way back in your house. You seriously
Mm.
the
need
police
to
said
be careful.
you have no proof, and I was like, that's why you investigate, because that's like they could have killed the guests, they could have killed me, could have burned my house down, and they're like, but
She's
the
trying to take
electrician
over your building, is what she's trying to do, and run you
wants
off.
my
Man.
house. Yeah, the
Okay.
the the electrician was like freaks out, and then I said, okay, I'm calling the police, leave that wire where it is. And he took the wire with him, and then I was like, I need that wire back, that's proof. And he says, I can't find it.
That's
So nobody
crazy.
wants to get involved with police,
No,
and I'm
that's
like,
the whole thing. You're going to have to get your own evidence and everything. And if they are monitoring us, as far as Shelly and them next door, let them know you've got a contact in the U.S. who knows what they're doing, has somebody, he has a guy. Just tell him, I got a guy for that. And I do. And they don't know what they're playing with. I can show you things to do that. Well, let's not get into that, and I won't even mention the 25-pound block of dry ice that accidentally got into their living room. But anyway,
yeah,
you're dealing with people who, by their own reviews, are having some sort of difficulty, let's say, for legal reasons, and you've really got to get your place wired to where they can't circumvent this, because it's one thing to throwing stuff over the yard, putting up fences. When you start messing with electrical outlets on hot tubs, I like a good high voltage shock as much as the next guy. Okay, with adult supervision, of course, but a hot tub, you guys are running 220 up there for a lot of stuff, or
yeah.
even 110. You'll cook like a
It's
hot dog.
yeah. And it was the first hot
Just
tub
be careful.
tampering. First hot tub tampering. I'm sure it was the sun, but my guests got into the hot tub. Everything had been fine. They turned on the jets, and the whole thing started draining really fast. So I opened up the panel, and 2 gear clamps had been taken off. Something was in between them. It took the gear clamp off both sides, so when the water started flowing, it blew both hoses off, so it started pumping out both of them. And they could have burned out the motor, they could have done lots of stuff, and then the next step up was when they did and the police were like, old hot tubs break, and I said, they don't take a
Hang on.
screwdriver inside the panel and undo gear clamps and take the hoses off and put them back again. That's not how hot tubs break.
There was like a piece on the lawn or something, wasn't there? Or
There was a plug
several
out of
feet
the
from, yeah.
Yeah, the guest found it when I went. They were hovering over me because they thought they'd done something wrong, so they were like hovering over me while I was looking at it. And the guy found this plug about this big that came from one of the pumps. Now it doesn't do anything, so it wasn't a big deal. But I was like, "What's that piece?" And then I took the panel off, and then I saw, "Oh, there's a big hole in that pump. I wonder if this plug goes in there." Yep, you have to use a screwdriver, and then the gear clamp, the hoses flapping
And
about.
still nothing from the cops for that. Unbelievable.
That's you see, the whole thing is the way they're looking at it is they don't have to get you to get that place. They could just get one of your guests and
It's
Yeah.
true. Ruin my business. That's the wedding. That's the wedding interference and all the other interferences that they do. That
What they did
this is not good
during the wedding and all that. It's despicable.
Yeah.
Well, you know how many devious things I'm thinking in my mind right now, but I won't say over the internet.
Yes.
We've gone through a couple
done.
ourselves, but we've discovered that we don't quite. We have it in us, but we don't have that edge that gets you there.
No, it's just the fact that I don't want to spend time in a federal prison that keeps me from doing it.
It's there's that too.
There's that too. What to be said for that, yes.
John, Canadian
And
prison.
I did ask really if we couldn't we just shock her one time a little bit? That's my only wish, really. Well, I'd love for all this to just come to an end and for them to be normal people. But for everything
Don't say come to an end. No.
No, okay. You know what I mean.
Yeah, but in the court of law, that can be construed.
Okay, I was going to say happy ending, but that has a whole other connotation to it too. So, sorry, Jules.
Yeah.
Amicably, how's that?
Happy ending, giggity. Okay.
But I meant amicably and all that.
I joke I joke in one of my story times on TikTok that I keep placing the police reports even though they won't do anything, so that after I'm found dead in my yard, they can go back and wonder, oh, was there a sign that something was wrong and maybe we should have started looking into this? So it's a constant slew of police reports that they won't act on. But someday, if something bad happens, because when here's the thing, when Brian went crazy,
I will avenge you.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Only in the summertime, though. It's too damn cold up there.
Fair enough.
I'm from Florida.
Well, I will.
You don't want me falling out of the tree like an iguana. It wouldn't be good. And of course, I'm from Florida. It's going to be a Florida man.
If it's inconvenient and happens during the winter, I will assist in avenging.
Okay, when Brian started going crazy, at the first throes of what would lead to psychotic break, I saw the same things in Shelley last summer, and when he went, of course, all of his delusions and all of his anger and everything was focused on me because I was in his case, because I was responsible for the environmental apocalypse that he was ordained by God to prevent.
I knew it was you. It's just not the small animals. It's bigger than that, John. Sorry.
I'm feminizing the fish with all the dish detergent. I told you. And that was his thing. Shelley's thing, if she snaps, all of her anger and stuff is focused on me. So she's going to be coming over. But right now she's hiding, so that's great. But fear can quickly turn to anger when you're tired of being fearful of my cameras and fearful of me. She can.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, didn't one of the police officers even say that's what you were, that his advice to you was to instigate it just enough to
My
make her snap?
psychiatrist.
Oh,
My
okay. To make her snap
psychiatrist
and do something that would be actually an offense? Like, that's
pushed
kind of
pushed
scary
the
advice,
boundaries a little
Whoa.
bit. Poke
right?
the
Like,
bear. Yes.
yes, poke the bear. Well, that's where I
Yeah.
wanted to
No,
just
you
give
should
her.
never poke a bear.
Now
Never.
No.
he's saying, yeah. Now
Okay,
he's
here's something else. Never trust any device or anything that you have to poke with a stick to make it work. And that includes bears, especially bears.
yeah.
True.
Well,
Look,
I
or
never
you
thought
really,
of it. Hmm?
I grew up with
look,
bears. I know you don't really have to poke them with anything.
yeah, you
Yeah.
really need to definitely do something here because, like I told you an earlier comment way back when, I said this is escalating, and uh, you can't uh, just you have to be passive in a way so that you don't so everything works out according to the law and everything. But when you're talking about blanking your cameras, you've got mysterious hot tub fires and stuff like that. Now you're getting rodents.
I
I
never even
mean,
put that there.
uh, I don't know how it is up in Canada, but down here you could go to your local critter control division of the city or whatever, and they'll give you traps.
Hmm.
So, if you've seen a large intake of rats, you know, I don't know if there's anything against the law about trapping rats and then re-releasing them in a suburban area, but I think there's some sort of municipality little code against it. But this could, all these things adding up, like you said, will, be a big trail of breadcrumbs should
Hmm.
Yeah.
anything happen to you. You
Well,
know,
see, I
Yeah.
never even thought of that with the rust. Didn't even occur to me
I
that
didn't
that
cross my
might
mind
be.
actually.
Yeah.
that's why you need a weird looking dude like me that knows these things and
Gotcha.
has, since I'm retired, I've got endless hours to
Well,
come up with
and
scenarios.
the
In the summer months, that is.
Yeah.
this stuff is fairly, sorry, stuff is past. Like right now, she's so afraid of my cameras that they don't use the backyard, and she's not instigating anything. She won't come out. They're afraid to speak to me because they're afraid to be caught on camera and be posted on the internet.
Because you put so much on social media now that it's not just jewels now, right? So they were bullying her, but now people are watching and people are aware of it.
It's
They
just
can't,
so embarrassing.
Well,
right? Because
well,
the police didn't really care, and she was very bold with that. She was like, "Oh, I don't care because look, they're not doing anything about it."
didn't you
But
get in
now
the newspaper?
mm,
Wasn't she
What's
in the
that?
newspaper?
She was in the newspaper. Did you
Yeah.
you saw the article? They
Yeah.
when her
I
son died,
find things.
his phone got lost.
mm,
I'll have to add that to her dossier.
mm.
Yeah,
But
her son died and he lost his phone, and then they found it in a river like a year later, and it still worked. And then they made the newspaper. It's just St. Marie, I think.
yeah. Well, it's just the whole thing is she's pretty much uh with her the reviews I read were, let's just say, reserved uh
Mm-hmm.
to you know to not get any kind of legalities where, but they were basically stating it's like she's crap house crazy.
Mhm.
uh you know and I'm sure with the bed and breakfast type of industry that those reviews are not going to help her business.
But they haven't even been
At least
doing that though. Like,
Yeah,
have
it's
they?
a
since the son
tax write
died.
off then. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's a tax write-off
Yeah,
more
but
than
God,
why
anything.
go after Jules for trying to have an actual like thriving business when it's
because
not taking anything from them?
they
But they're
want the
not.
houses. They could be renting it for
That,
$700 a night. Their Airbnb gets $150 a night, right?
oh, really?
So yeah, they get $150 a night for their Airbnb, or when they were doing it. Now they get
Hmm.
nothing because Kyle and his wife and 2 children live in that room.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah. No, I do remember her saying, or you
then
telling me that she said that. That
yeah,
business.
and then I my place gets $700 to $1,000 a night. They could take my place over, open up the grand estate, and be
Right.
making all sorts of. Plus,
This
they
is
just
not
wanted the
good.
grand estate. But what's that?
This is not good.
No, well, she's been pretty
I
quiet for a
mean,
while, and I think it is good. I'm really glad that so many people now, it's not just like you telling me and telling Cheryl and whatever, and then also questioning yourself because you were saying like, am I losing my mind?
Yeah.
Right. So now it's out there and other people are aware. What are any of those people, all those people online that are like, oh, I got your back and whatever else, that have no idea where you are, and like it went away tomorrow, they kind of just forget. But at the same time, there's enough that would be emotionally invested, and she believes that they all are watching her and judging her and everything, which they are to
I'm
that
watching
extent
you,
anyway.
Shelley.
Exactly, right. So
The whole
Hmm.
the whole thing is as far as gaslighting. Yeah, they're definitely doing some of that,
mhm,
but this has got like a murder mystery series just waiting to happen here.
mhm,
Well, it's
And
like a ID detective. What's it? ID Discovery Channel.
Murdoch
Uh,
Mysteries.
mhm,
You
yeah,
guys get them? Yeah, of course you get that up there. Murdoch Mysteries and
yeah.
Frankie Blake Mysteries. Yeah, we
yeah.
Yeah,
like
I
watching
don't really
those.
watch a lot of that stuff, but I know we
Jessica
do get Murdoch
Fletcher.
ones for sure. And
Jessica Fletcher will book in from Cabot Cove in my
Yeah.
Airbnb, and I'll be murdered, and she'll have to solve it.
there's there's all kinds of Netflix specials on that kind of thing now too. Unsolved
Well,
mysteries, or isn't this fascinating that this went on for so long and this is what was really going on? And yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Just to make one thing clear now, it it Jules, if the police come over to your house and everything, and they happen to have a ground penetrating radar, they're
Hmm.
not going to find anything out there in the backyard, right? Everything's cool, right?
Nope, nothing.
That's what the
Okay.
golf
Dog.
course is for.
That just means. Oh, I tell you what, I had a kid that was bothering that was my stepdaughter's boyfriend. And mind you, I'm 62. At the time, I was about my late 40s, and he was 26, and he was terrified of me. Because I basically let him know that her brother works at a gator farm, and I said, if I have any problems with you and my daughter, you're going to be ended up in either there or in the Everglades as gator poop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He didn't bother her after that. Of course, she went back to him like abusive relationship type of thing. But yeah, he till the day he died, that kid was terrified of me
Mm.
because you can't play with people like this. You know, I don't like violence. I don't like guns, particularly. I own guns, but I'm not one of those gun nuts that has artillery instead of firearms like a lot of people in
Mhm.
you. I got enough to protect the house,
Yeah.
and I know how to improvise other things if all hell breaks loose. Be surprised
Mm.
what can happen with chemicals underneath your sink and in your garage when mixed together.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Yeah. I'm
uh,
not surprised. I was married to a chemist,
you you
a
you
careless
know,
one.
I don't
yeah,
like bullies. I don't like anybody that tries to push somebody around for any kind of reason or intimidate them and gets any kind of jollies out of making other people feel small. I don't like that. I think those type of people are horrible. I really do, and that's what Shelley's all about. And it's
Holy,
just a bull.
Shelley,
It's beyond bullying, though. It's really it's sick to do that to anybody,
it's
from a child to the elderly to just regular people over any reason. Like, what do
yeah.
you need that in your life
This,
for to make
this
somebody feel that small?
yeah.
What do you get out of that? It's fucked. Excuse my
I,
language,
I
but
mean, you do get a personality that once this starts happening, it starts to just steamroll. One thing
mm,
leads to another type of thing in their mind, and that type of thing. But as far as her getting onto your property, you need to put up a little more fence and take some security measures.
mm,
As far as her getting over into your yard,
there's no more way for her to
that's
get over my yard except to come around the front and walk up the front yard right into the camera. I've sealed it all off now. When
okay.
I I covered up the pond and it's secured to both of the fences on either side of it, and she can't crawl under it and can't crawl over it. It's 10 feet tall. It's totally illegal. City doesn't care. They're on my side. Yeah, and there's no
Yeah,
space.
well, the
At least
laws.
they'll give you that much. They won't do anything to try and prevent it from happening, but you can go ahead and build your fence higher, and we'll come
Yeah,
around after.
Yeah, it's always, well, we can't arrest you unless she actually assaults you. Well, by that
hmm
time, it's a little late in the program.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Um, but
When will we ever
the
learn? Same with domestic violence, right? We can't do anything until he actually hurts
yeah,
you, and we can't do anything when he actually hurts you. So,
yeah. Well, I'll look into. I'll ask a few of my connections and whatnot as far as your computer stuff, if it's possible, and countermeasures. Uh, but you know, you start out with Care Next Door channel, and now things have mellowed out on that, which is good to a certain degree. But
yeah.
your fans are definitely going to be behind you. And yes, I will go buy a parka just in case something happens during the winter. No problem.
Okay. Listen,
Uh,
if something happens in the winter, there are spare parkas in my cellar, hanging up on a hook. There's a
And I'll
men's
bring
parka.
one and I can pick you up at the airport. How's that?
There you go.
okay.
Stop
You
by
do
here
need
and
to
get
turn that light out in the cellar. Right now. It's
Mm.
still on.
How do you know that I've got lights on in my cellar? Because I do.
Because it's dark outside. See how you just got gaslighted? That's all it takes is
Mm-hmm.
stating something. If you really want to go at this full on, you know who the Art of War?
Yeah, my son and I
I,
read it for
yeah.
business.
Okay, here's what you do: you get that on audiobook, and you play it while you're asleep for a week. Okay,
Mm.
after that, you will have the knowledge to overcome the neighbor next door.
Hmm.
My
There are
son
side
made me
effects.
write down like 7 principles from that. Uh,
Yes,
I don't remember or can't find, but yeah, he read
Hmm.
it because of business.
there are side
Uh,
effects.
and yeah, it was
Hmm.
fascinating. It was really
Oh
the
yeah,
stuff he was telling me was really interesting.
it works. But the thing
Hmm.
Very
is,
wise.
you may experience subtitles about your midsection, and your mouth may continue moving even after you stop speaking.
And
Good to
wait,
know.
ever start a land war in Asia when what's the line from
When there's
Princess?
never start a land war with the Sicilian when I can't remember.
And nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Sort of, but
Yeah,
from
well,
the Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
You have a lot of religious groups in Canada that go door to door.
Yeah,
They go
yeah, we
door
do.
not as much door to door anymore. They stand on the
Oh,
corners, and well, in Scarborough, anyways, or in Toronto, they stand on the corners and yell at you.
Jules knows exactly what I'm thinking. Hence
my
Mm.
the
friend,
Prince of Monty Burns fingers tips.
my okay, I won't say who did it. Someone who I know, without my knowledge or consent beforehand, came to me and told me that she called the Jehovah's Witnesses and said that the people next door gave them all their names and everything and said they're having a spiritual crisis they need to be counseled to. So this group is relentless and shows up over and over again because there's a crisis here and you need our help and please let us in. And yeah,
Wait.
Never let them
she
in.
did
Never. Once they get a foot in the door, that's how it starts.
exactly. I don't know what happened with it, but then she was like, "Okay, well, I called the Jehovah's Witnesses. Should I call the Mormons now?" And
Oh yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
like, yeah,
The Mormons are also tenacious. Unfortunately, they ran into my wife when they came here, and she out Bibled them, and they ran away. But
That's what you do
oh,
here occasionally, is you get somebody that's like, yeah, come on in, and it sends them away
those
like a while
Mormons are
later.
so nice.
wait a minute,
The
we've read
Mormons
about
are
this in the orientation about if they actually invite you in, it's a trap.
Right? Yeah,
yes.
I wonder if they must be surprised when people actually like don't just slam the door in their face, aren't they? Or is there a lot of
They're
people that
very sweet.
actually?
I think there's plenty of people that are
I
nice
guess
back
there
to them.
must be.
That are lonely.
Yeah, true. That's
Come
true.
on
As I
in.
was saying, and I think that's a lot of it.
I, I invited some in because I didn't realize what they were doing. I was very young. I'd moved out at 15 and they showed up on my apartment doorstep.
Mm.
And I didn't quite understand what was happening. So I was like, yeah, sure, come in. And they started counseling to me. Then they start telling me the story of Jesus coming to North America first. And I was like, what?
This
What?
is the Mormons, right?
Yeah. And I started laughing hysterically at their
Oh,
doctrine
I
and
don't
just
even
like,
know anything about that, but I didn't know that that was part of their thing.
oh, yes,
You
yes,
know they
Jesus
have
came.
magic underwear.
Yep. And
Huh.
they even get a planet
What
with their wives after they die. And this is
what
still
is,
part of doctrine.
but what does the underwear do?
I don't know, but there's a guy in the military I knew that wore it. He was a little, let's just say, strange to
Uh-huh.
begin with. But he had this little Mormon unitard on under on his uniform. I heard
Yeah.
it gives them magical powers.
Wow.
Um, they have to
That's
wear
how
it
you
while
were
they're having sex.
hypnotized.
Hmm. For
Um,
only $99.99 per month.
watch the musical Book of Mormon, Brenda.
Yeah,
You'll
I'd
like
like
it.
to actually.
It's very funny, and it will tell you things.
Yeah, fair enough.
That
Oh,
was just a great movie. South Park was.
Yeah.
one of the best movies I've seen on Netflix recently was The Mormon Murders. Did anybody see that
No, I don't think
documentary
Um,
so.
about the? This is amazing. It's
Oh, I'll
about a
watch it
guy
then,
who
'cause I'm in
ripped off
between stuff
Mormon
right now.
church.
Hmm.
Who he the long con is so deep and so brilliant, and he started training for it when he was 12.
Wow.
Incredible! You got to see it. I made a lot of people watch it. Like
Yeah.
sit them down, tie them to a chair, and you got to watch this. This is amazing. I have to
you
look up
got to
what's the
stop saying stuff like that. Tie him to a chair.
I know, right?
figuratively, and they liked it. You know
That's $50 extra in New York City. But anyway,
exactly.
They
Netflix.
only charged you
Mormon.
50? Never mind. Never mind. No.
Way to make $50 more. Netflix Mormon documentary. Murder Among the Mormons.
Oh, okay. I'll check it
Oh,
out.
so good. Yeah, totally
I think I
worthwhile.
have to sign off though. We've been for a bit, and actually I could stay on longer, but I got a few things I still got to do. And also, my son carried on with we were on a mission today to do his room, and I just walked into it, and it looks amazing. And I'm supposed to go hang out there with him for a while now. So
Okay,
sorry.
my legs.
But
So I got to
this
stand
was
up.
This was awesome. Thank you for
It
inviting
was,
me.
yeah, 2 hours,
That,
pretty good.
yeah. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, you like, yeah, it flew
We
by.
It did, but what
Yeah.
we got to do is get more viewers. You're gonna have to have some like dazzling, like opening thing, like you do for the other YouTube videos. Have like let's say a shot of of the B&B and everything with nice refined music playing in the background and everything, and then you pan over to Shelley's. It goes into death metal, and then your intro.
And then we talk about rats.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm open to it because I keep thinking I'm going to give this up because I've got no point and purpose to me. I thought I'd get good at this at some point,
You are good
but
at this.
Yeah, you're good at this. We just
Yeah,
need to keep you alive so we can keep, you can keep your viewers up. The main thing is keep you alive. That's our
yeah,
main
it's
concern right now.
helpful. Yeah, it's a
that's
little more animated and interesting when you're alive. I like you that way.
well. I mean, the last live I did on a Friday night stream, I wound up having like a staring contest with the camera. Uh, I played my ukulele, which I was not in tune, and I
Oh
don't
yeah, I
play the.
saw that.
I was so pathetic. That's when I was
Just
like,
blame
"Oh
it
yeah,
on buffering. Just blame it on buffering.
okay, yeah, it's buffering." I'll go
Well,
tune my ukulele now. That's what I'll do.
all
All
right,
right.
ladies. I also have to retire for the evening. I have my oldest cat of 16 years giving me the evil stare and everything, and I have to obey them because just like my friend that lives up in the woods with a trailer and two cats tells his psychologist over at the VA that he believes his cats are studying him and they beam up stuff at night while he sleeps to the cat mothership.
This is not the first time I've heard this. It's been
Yes.
a while, but I have heard this before.
Yeah, well, it's not good when you're at the VA and you tell a shrink that and he starts scribbling, because but luckily I did get him a anti, cat transmission ray hat he can wear, so
Oh,
his thoughts
excellent.
are
Is it
safe
like
at least.
tinfoil based, probably?
Yeah, it's
Potentially.
let's put it to you this way: don't put it in an MRI.
Right. And you know what?
Aw.
Even if he's not right, why take the chances? Like just obey the cats and everybody's happy. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Aw. Okay, I really appreciate you guys coming.
okay, it
No
was nice to
problem.
meet you, John.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later. I'll
Okay,
set up
talk to you later, Jules. Have a good night. Thank you.
good night, everybody.
All right. You
Have to
ladies have a
hit
good
end
evening.
broadcast 7 times.
All right.
Bye, John. You were a treat. Love you guys.